In today's video we fly Air New Zealand in their much criticised business class seat that they introduced nearly 20 years ago. We say goodbye to beautiful Western Samoa. We enjoy Air New Zealand's quirky sense of humour. Come and join us as we put the business class to the test aboard the 787 Apia, Western Samoa to Auckland, New Zealand. We get our first glimpse of the 787 that will wing us through to Auckland this afternoon through a very grubby airport window. We boarded pretty quickly. There was no business class lounge in Apia, but we were welcomed warmly aboard. Excellent.
You had the driver's seat.
I've gone a little too far. Thank you. Oh, gosh.
You will meet again.
Yeah, we will meet again, I'm sure. Now, I like Air New Zealand, but I'm not a huge supporter of the business class seat or cabin layout. The seats are configured one by one in 3 rows. Good. Thank you.
Right, so a note to self, if you're booking business class with Air New Zealand with this herringbone configuration and you're a couple, it's probably best to be side by side. That way you can kind of see each other. It is an interesting and weird configuration. Not a lot of storage space. And you don't get to see outside, and let's face it, that's what you want to see. Anyway, we're going to have a great flight, and cheers.
You can see from this shot, you get a really good impression of the cabin environment, which is a little exposed and claustrophobic. When seated, you realise how narrow the seats are. There's a little handy light, a little handy tray, the remote control for the IFE is on the left. The TV screen does pop out. The control for the bed function is right at the front of the seat. Very quick taxi today. Here we are rolling now for Auckland. I'll let you enjoy the takeoff. Well, Monique and I really enjoyed our time in Samoa. It's been about 10 years since we visited, and the infrastructure has improved. There's a couple of new resorts which are really nice. You know, look, Apia in Western Samoa isn't as popular as maybe Fiji or the Cook Islands, but we found it to be really good value, and we really enjoyed the Western Samoan hospitality. Now, the snorkeling was spectacular. One of the advantages of Apia is that the reef is right there, so no need to go out on a boat trip. There is some evidence of coral bleaching, but that's happening everywhere. Global warming's a factor all over the world. Now, Air New Zealand flies at least daily, some days twice daily to Apia from Auckland. It means that there's some really good airfares. You can pick up a return airfare for 600 New Zealand dollars in economy or 360 odd US. We flew business class. It was $1,200. We got a very generous number of status points to help us keep gold with Star Alliance. It's about a 3.5 hour flight back to Auckland. Join us as we enjoy the in-flight service in Air New Zealand all the way back to Auckland. Well, good afternoon and welcome on board this Air New Zealand flight back to Auckland from Apia, Western Samoa. Now, the menu on board this luncheon flight is quite lovely. We have 3 main choices. slow cooked New Zealand lamb, roasted Marlborough salmon fillet, and an Italian pasta dish. We also have, for a lovely choice of dessert, a honey tart, or a frozen yogurt with boysenberry cheesecake ice cream, which sounds delicious. It will probably come as no surprise to you at all that I'm going to go with the slow-cooked lamb. Now, I'm accompanying the slow-cooked lamb with a New Zealand rosé from Nelson, which looks absolutely divine. You can see, though, one of the drawbacks from this current Air New Zealand seat. It's very claustrophobic and limited space. There's hardly any storage space. But interestingly, when deployed as a bed, it's particularly comfortable with the mattress. So it's a lousy seat, wonderful bed, but what makes up for it is the onboard Air New Zealand service. I've already received my warm cashew and almond nuts to go with my rosé. I'm about to have my table set. Stick with me as we experience this luncheon service aboard Air New Zealand's 777 all the way back to Auckland. It should be fun. So our tray has been set quite beautifully with the little salt and pepper and butter. I've gone with the hummus appetizer with feta, accompanied by some bread with the olive oil, which will be divine, and a glass of water. It's a beautifully set tray. The pumpkin hummus is very nice indeed. It's topped off with roasted artichokes and almonds and the feta, and the combination is quite delightful. The food service was really very efficient, and the lamb dish I thought was really beautifully presented. The broccoli was surprisingly good, and the lamb, well, I have to say it, the lamb was great. Some really nice little embossed silverware with Air New Zealand, nice little touches, lovely bread selection.
So just doing the loo review on Air New Zealand 787 to Apia. A bit disconcerting when you sit down and this is who you see peeking through the window. Pretty standard kind of loo, very simple, business class, nothing fancy. But you've got to love Air New Zealand's quirky sense of humour.
Well, just when you thought life couldn't get much better, we've got cheesecake ice cream, which is just out of this world good. Absolutely delightful. Sorry, I was a little rude. I didn't show you the ice cream. It was lovely. Finished the meal off with a camembert and blue cheese with a fruit chutney. Divine. Although I've been critical of the Air New Zealand cabin layout, one of the redeeming features is that a second person can sit at your table to eat or play. Look, I wanted to show you the seat when configured as a bed. The reality is it's actually a very comfortable bed. There's lots of room at the head and it's a good length. And they add a really nice mattress and lovely duvet on top and a very comfortable pillow. I left feeling generally that in the seat lounge mode it wasn't particularly good, but in the lie flat bed mode it was superb. I would fly Air New Zealand again in business class. Their in-flight service is wonderful. The current seat is outdated, but they're introducing a new seat product later this year. As I've said in the past, if you've got the spare cash, fly business class, get the extra frequent flyer points. But if you're looking for a cost-effective option, I'd pick premium economy every time. Please like and subscribe to the video.